When you think of Japan, the first thought that comes to your mind is probably the beautiful scenery, the culture, and nowadays anime. You probably don't think of people like Cyrax,
I'm the one that's doing the dominant.
Daniel Larson,
No, I'm not. Those people are causing the situation. Stop telling me. You're cursing me.
and of course Chris-chan,
I am Christian Weston Chandler!
who fit into the term Lolcow. But Japan has its own breed of lolcows, Japan cows. If you don't know what a lolcow is, it's a person whose eccentric or foolish behaviour can be exploited to amuse onlookers. Now with this video, I also need to mention that even though I'm able to speak a little Japanese, this does not mean that I'm fluent. So anything I missed or messed up, if you know this story of Sayemu, please correct me in the comments below. Now, from what I found, Japan doesn't have a lot of lolcows in the traditional sense. You're not going to find someone to the level of Chris-chan or other well-known lolcows in Japan. Chalk this up to their society or whatnot. This is why I'm going to use the term Japan cow. This term is pretty much the same as what a lolcow is, but on a slightly lower scale. With this, we will now talk about someone who could arguably be called the most well-known Japan cow, and that is Sayemu Game. Now, Sayemu Game is a pretty well-known Japan cow. Even today in Japanese YouTube, creators are still making memes about him. Sayemu Game, born on 1984, the 3rd of the 4th, a YouTuber hailing from Etajima, Hiroshima Prefecture, dropped out of his computer-related vocational school. He made his debut as a YouTuber in the mid-2010s, starting out by posting videos playing an arcade game, Wangan Midnight, on YouTube and Nico Nico, another popular video sharing site in Japan. During this time, he had yet to show his face and was just uploading commentary videos of himself playing video games. It's also important to mention that at this time, he was going by a different alias, Shinsuke Kami. This style would change when he rebranded himself to Sayemu Game around 2014. Doing YouTube as a job in Japan had just started to become mainstream, so Sayemu decided to reveal his face. During this era, he was known for food reviews,
照り焼きマックバーガーいただきたいと思います。はい。ではちょっとどんな感じか開けてみましょう。中開けてみたいと思います。
commentary gameplay,
いいんじゃねえの？ちょっと見てみよ
やめてよそれ。
う。アイテムは、
聞いてんのか？
and I guess what you could call a vlog.
はい、どうも、シャブです。今ですね、僕と、
But, like all lolcows, he was bound to get trolled. His first major trolling op would happen in 2014 on the 8th of the 11th. The incident being called, "No one came to my meetup." Sayemu decided to host a meetup at Anon Mall Riku Senman. With this announcement, a bunch of trolls decided to comment under his announcement, pretending to be his fans, and pledging that they would attend this meetup. Some of these trolls also pretended to be women, and probably promised that they would help Sayemu lose his virginity. Like most lolcows, Sayemu is someone who is starved of sex, and doesn't interact with the opposite sex much. With this, Sayemu proceeded to the mall in his dad's car and waited, and waited some more. And of course, no one showed up to his meetup. For some reason, he also filmed this incident and uploaded it to YouTube and Nico Nico.
ないので、ゲーム実況者イベントの中にね、ファンとの交流会っていうのがあるんですよ。それにみんな来てもらおうかなと思って。
This is probably the most well-known thing that Sayemu has or ever will create in his life. Memes about this episode of his life are still ironically being created today, and even at the time, it propelled him to have a decent popularity. But this popularity wasn't necessarily a good thing, as now Sayumu had more trolls reaching out and creating IRL trolling ops. The next incident in Sayumu's life was the fated Namba Station Mall abandonment incident. After the meetup incident came the Namba Station. This is also one of the most well-known IRL ops that was taken against Sayumu. On December 13th, Sayumu had planned to meet up with what he believed was a 22-year-old college girl, who he had been talking to online. Sayumu was someone who was pretty obsessed about the opposite sex, and because at the time he was 30 and still a virgin, he wanted to score. So he went to the Namba station and waited and waited and waited some more, approximately for about 7 hours. After returning home, he found out that the whole thing was a sting operation to make a fool of himself. He also found that the chat logs were leaked to the entire internet. Fun fact, the movie theater where the incident took place also made a post making fun of Sayumu, but they did end up deleting this post, though it can still be found today. On December 18th, 2014, Sayumu decided to delete his entire YouTube channel, retiring. It would be 4 years before Sayumu tried to come back to YouTube. On January 26th, 2018, Sayumu's resurrection was suddenly announced on Twitter. This wasn't Sayumu posting though, it was a woman who was running some sort of hikikomori support center, and she allegedly ran into Sayumu, and this was somehow brought up in conversation. This account would also answer some questions and post a video featuring Sayumu. This video became trending on Japanese Twitter, but this first attempt pretty much failed, as his parents wouldn't let him leave the house, and because him and his family moved to a small island, he wasn't able to leave and come back to YouTube. In 2019, Sayumu made his second attempt to get back to YouTube. He escaped from a small island away from his parents. This was a pretty messy escape. He arrived in Nagoya and was able to stay at a friend's place. This new friend basically bankrolled Sayumu, renting an apartment and buying video equipment so Sayumu could go back to creating videos. But because Sayumu is Sayumu, he basically would just eat and goon off all day, and never did any work. As expected, this friend wasn't too happy with Sayumu doing this. So, after a big fight, Sayumu left the house and stayed with another random fan. After this, for some reason, Sayumu and his new friend went to the HQ of UM, a YouTuber agency, but was rejected and not allowed to enter the building. After this, his new buddy and him had a fight, and yet again, he was picked up by another fan, creating a few videos during this time. Sayumu was, of course, trolled a little again. He also went back to his parents' house, trespassing, and this got him arrested, and he went quiet, quote unquote, retiring again. There were also a couple of other things that happened after this, like some people showing up to his parents' house. One person was actually able to have a conversation with Sayumu's father.
こんにちは。すいません、俺、こういうものでちょっと2年前に、順平さんとちょっと遊んでて、ちょっとまた会うって約束してたんですけど、ちょっと連絡取れなくて、ちょっと急に来ちゃったんですけども。
Sayumu also was captured by another well-known Japan cow, Henzuma.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer? Every night, I can feel my leg.
Henzuma is another person who we could spend another whole video talking about. All you need to know is that he isn't the most well-liked person in Japan, and they took a photo together, posting it on Twitter. There also was this whole thing where Sayumu's channel was taken over by this person called Henzuma Views Rife. I'm pretty sure this is the same Henzuma that was in the photo. He basically begged for Sayumu's channel and manipulated Sayumu a little bit, and for some reason Sayumu agreed. to give all of his accounts to this girlfriend of Henzima. After this, Henzima and Sayamu broke off and went their separate ways, with Sayamu creating new accounts. In 2022, he was approached by this same Henzima character. Sayamu collaborated with him in some of his videos. I wasn't able to find any information after this point online, and this is really just a basic overview of Sayamu. I'm going to be linking all of my research links in the description so you can take a bigger dive into Sayamu if you like. I'll also link the Kiwi Farms post that brought Sayamu to my attention. Sayamu is definitely the most well-known Japan cow. Even today, a lot of his most well-known failures, like the No One Came to My Meetup incident and the Namba Station mole abandonment incident, are still talked about on 2chan and other parts of the Japanese internet today. Sayamu is definitely a person who doesn't learn and never will. Comparing him to other well-known lolcows like Cyrax, Daniel Larson, and Chris-chan, he isn't definitely the most harmless, though for some reason Sayamu does remind me a little bit of Cyrax, but they are in their own leagues. I hope that you enjoyed this overview of the most well-known Japan cow, Sayamu.